And one thing I strongly believe in is that defense wins games. I apply this in every single thing that I do, from playing FIFA, playing 2K, to even trading. This is something that is just strongly believe in. So in trading, for example, now how I apply this is by simply, I believe, protect your capital as much as possible, find every means possible to always try to minimize losing money, and the wins will compound. It's really that simple. The wins will come over time, as long as you continue to protect your capital though. So there are ways and things I've implemented for this to happen, to make sure that this is as airtight as possible. So I always keep my money. Obviously, when I lose, it just means that, all right, cool, there's nothing much I could have really done about it to keep my money, basically. This has taken a while to definitely orchestrate, to test, to figure out, to put together, but I'm going to share with you my risk management strategy, pretty much how I'm able to do this to make sure that my win rate is high, my RR is pretty much high on most trades, so we're able to make this money pretty much every single month. So every single month has to just be a winning month. So the first thing to note is that I trade supply and demand, if you do not know. So supply and demand is simply by finding aggressive buys and aggressive sells, and I'm going to show you some examples. All right, so this is literally a trade that I took a couple days ago, right? This was on Monday. So when you have aggressive buys, for example, this is one. You can see right here, price pushed up aggressively, price came back. You have another aggressive buy right here where you have blue, multiple candles. You have another one right here. You have another one right here. So these are aggressive buys. Aggressive sells is the opposite, you know, multiple aggressive sells. Aggressive sell right here. Price dumped significantly right here. Then you also have one right here. You have one right here. So you'll see many of these. So you want obviously zone out the noise and find the ones that are very high probability setups, the ones that actually, you know, okay, cool, this is very good and I can use this in my setup. So though there are many, you want to find the key ones. So once you have these supply and demand setups now, you just draw a zone. For example, you can draw one right here. This is, you know, an aggressive sell that previously happened. We have an aggressive buy that previously happened. So you can see just by looking at it, when price gets there, there's some sort of reaction right here. When price got here, price kind of reacted. So obviously there was one right here. You can see price didn't get there. When price got there later on, though it broke the zone, eventually there was still some kind of reaction. So overall, sometimes you will have this in confluence with supply and resistance as well, sometimes, but these are basically just general basis of supply and demand. So now I'm going to show you just a few trades that we took over the week, right? Just to show you exactly what I do when I'm managing my trades. So this was one trade that I took on Monday. I was looking for, you know, price to come in. We had the aggressive buy, we had the breaker structure. Everything is looking very good for this trade, right? Price tapped into the zone now. I got into this trade. My stop loss is literally right here. Semi-tight, you know, not too shabby. And I'm aiming for this high, right? This was what I was looking for. Aiming to leave right here. And, you know, price push. So this was literally what? About 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. The 1 minute is very nice for this. So in 3 minutes, I'm already almost up. Just a tiny bit left for me to get out of this trade. I don't think we hit TP, do we? Nope. So price came all the way back down. So this is where risk management comes in. For me personally, I can't afford to be this close to TP and price starts doing this, because I don't know if this is going to hold. We don't know why they're melting. I don't know if they're going to actually stop me out or they're going to fill the fair value gap and go back up. We really don't know. Sometimes they'll do it and sometimes they would not. So the key thing here for me is now every time I get to 1-to-1. So there's a reason why the strategy I use is called the 1-1, right? This is mainly because I trade the 1 minute time frame, one session. Obviously, the key thing here though is that 1-to-1 is my primary TP. This is where, okay, as soon as I hit 1-to-1, you've invested, let's say 1K, you've made 1K back. Something needs to happen at this point, because now you've actually made your money back, right? You can either leave the trade, you can take partials, you can do something. So 1R is key. So as soon as we get to 1R, generally what I will always do now is move my stop loss to break even, right? So move your stop loss to break even. At this point now, the trade is risk free. So this happens incredibly quick on a 1 minute though. As soon as we enter this trade, we pretty much hit that 1R in like a minute and a bit, right? So as soon as we get there though, now my stop loss are break even. And you can see on this trade now, at some point I was up 1 to 2.3, but then I eventually came out of this trade at break even. Sometimes you might be frustrated by this, but I'm telling you, over many results, you appreciate it, because there'll be times when you just lose trades that you shouldn't have lost as well. This trade could have just got to 1R and then gone against you as well, but you'd have been happy in that case because you protected yourself. So my main thing is, if price got so close, we got to 1R, I've technically made my money back, and then we get stopped out. I at least want to retain my money and look for the next setup, right? Because I want to lose when I know that there's nothing I could have done. Like price didn't even get to 1R. That's when it's like, okay, cool, there's nothing I could have done in this case. I tried, I followed my rules, I followed my strategy. There's nothing I could have done. So in this trade now, you can see price would have stopped us out. Eventually, price does go into TP. We left our break even. One thing I do though, to at least make sure I secure a bit of money now, this is where, I've tried to develop things to make sure that it helps with psychology. So you're not really beating yourself up too much, is that once we get to 1-to-1, like I mentioned, I'll take 0.25. In fact, the smaller the profit, the better. Reason why is that when you do hit TP, you want to make as much money as you thought you would. Because obviously when you take partials out now, your 1-to-3, for example, which should have been, let's say 3K on a 100K account, would no longer be 3K because you took a small percentage out earlier. So now you're working with a small amount of money moving to your take profit. So overall, you don't want to take out too much, just a bit. So the number I try to take out is, let's say 0.25% or even less, just to almost make up for commissions, right? Just to make sure that at the end of the trade, if I do get stopped at break even, I'm not losing everything and I don't go into like drawdown. And ultimately, my idea is, with a big account size anyway, I'm making a lot of money regardless. 0.25 is $250 when you have 1K on the line. That's still a lot of money regardless. Do you get what I mean? So let's say after commissions, everything, you're still making more than $100, $150 still. So it's still money regardless. Even if I have a break even day, that's still more than most people are earning when they do a 9-to-5. So that's how I thought about it. So this is why it's just perfect for me. So yes, some people who didn't put their thing at break even, they would have made money, fair enough. But for me now, it's all good. So after that after that one break-even setup or small win, I'm looking for a second one. So I had my second setup now, took a buy earlier. I found a sell setup now, and I'm doing the same thing. Set my entry. Do we get an entry yet? Nope, we haven't. So we'll get an entry probably right here. Stop loss is going to be right here. And this is pretty much the same idea now. For this trade, I would want to leave, let's say right here, 1 to 1.21. Not too shabby. Now in this case, okay, so we don't even get an entry in this case. All right, fair enough. I thought we did. Okay, so it looks like there wasn't another setup this day, so fair enough. So I'm going to go back to another day now just to show you a trade I took the day before that. So the day before that now, very, very similar setup. So I'll show you an example where I actually, lost the trade. I think I did. Okay, so this was a trade that I took live. This trade, looking at now, I shouldn't have taken this trade. But let's just say you make a mistake, you took a trade anyway that you shouldn't have taken because you were wrong with your analysis, right? So I took this trade anyway. You can see price still got to 1-to-1 regardless. So on this trade, it's almost like you make a mistake, you can still secure your 1-to-1 if you're quick enough. Sometimes this might be very, very quick, you miss the 1-to-1, but in most cases, even if you're wrong, you still got to 1-to-1. So that means you'd have set your stop loss at break even and price would have then stopped you at the next candle, but you still prevented the loss. You still saved yourself. So obviously after that, we look for the next setup, which happened right here. And I took this literally in the academy with the rest of the team. I believe we'll trade live on this trade. I'm not too sure, but I remember I took this. One of the students even set this setup, so it was pretty nice. And I took this setup as well. You can see the same thing happened for this trade. I'm looking to leave about right here. There is also a demand zone right here. So if you're trying to play safe, you can leave where the demand is 1-to-2. So in this case, you'd have taken partials at 1-to-1, and then the rest of the played out, and then you'd have left at 1-to-2. Stop loss didn't get hit. Break even also didn't get hit. So you'd have left with a bit of money on this trade. If you're looking for more, you will see that, okay, cool. They would have stopped you at break even. Fair enough. In this case now, price still went back to take profit, but at least, you made some money. So there's just multiple ways. You can either make some money here. You could have made a tiny bit of profit if you left and it got stopped at break even. You'd have made at least 250, or you wait all the way to the end and you'd have still made some money regardless. So there's multiple ways to win, but the key thing is that you're still protecting your capital though. Now there's another setup. This was a day with many setups. I remember I took about 2 of them. This was another setup as well that anyone could have taken. You can see on this trade, boom, literally price went straight to TP. You didn't get stopped at break even at all. Very, very nice. This is also another setup that played out, and you can see the exact same thing. I would have entered this trade looking for 1-to-1. We hit 1-to-1 at this point right here, literally boom, set stop loss to break even, take your partials, and now you're waiting to see what happens. Price keeps pushing, so obviously your second TP now could have been a 1 or 2. Could have been a 1 to 3. So for the next TP though on this trade, I remember I took a 1 to 2. Yeah, I left right here for this trade just to play it safe, and you can see, boom, we smacked TP, and that was it. So having this combination now is just very, very good, because even when you lose, sometimes you still save yourself. Only situation now where you will take a loss is just when price does not get to 1-to-1 at all. And if they don't go to 1-to-1 at all, it kind of just means they didn't want to give it to you. It's just not meant to be. That's the idea to this now. So in most cases, every money is going to be saved. We're saving our capital as much as possible. And if you do take a loss on the first trade, you go again for a second trade. And what I do on the second trade now is that I would go for maybe like a 2R. So on the first trade, I lost 1%. On the second trade, I want to take at least, let's say 1 to 2. Or depending on the setup, even if I get like a 1 to 3.5, depending on where my take profit is, for example, I'm still taking that because now I've made my money back overall, and that's me done for the day. So the key things about this is that break even, essential to make sure you're protecting your capital at all time. If you do lose now, the second thing I'm doing now is aiming for about 1 or 2. I don't need to aim for my usual TP or aim for 1 to 4, 1 to 3. I just want to take my 1 to 2 so that way I make up for the loss before, and that's me done for the day. Now the third thing is only taking 2 setups a day. So either a win and I'm done, or the first trade is break even and the next trade is a win and I'm still done, or the first trade is a break even, the second trade is break even and I'm still done, or I take a loss and the second trade happens to be a loss. Fair enough, I'm done. So you can see out of all those options, 3 of them will make me money at the end of the day. 1 of them would make me stay in drawdown. Obviously, sometimes I might just find one trade which is just minus 1%, and then that's it. That's fine, no worries. But you can see overall, there's more chances of ending the day in a W than ending the day with a loss. So overall, as long as this continues to compound, I'm making money time and time again. That is pretty much the gem and the secret to it. So you can literally see that with me doing this strategy, this is literally the result from literally my backtest results. And when I'm trading live as well, I do post my live trades and stuff on Instagram as well. So you can see that literally live every single day. So the results do look pretty clean. I can't complain at all, but this is pretty much how I manage my risk when I'm trading. Hopefully you found some value in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.